Hey guys, it's Matt from Z1 Secure here again, and today I'm going to do a demo that I think will benefit both risk and compliance practitioners and just any ServiceNow developer. So from the risk and compliance practitioner standpoint, I'm going to show you how we can get data out of the system that's kind of hard to see, which is in this use case, we're going to find all of the citations that do not have a corresponding control objective map to them. So this will allow you to see what is the gap in my CCF or my cybersecurity framework. And we see this come up a lot when customers give us their own framework to import. So they have their own set of control objectives and they're mapping them back to citations. And we want to know, like, hey, where are there gaps in coverage of our citations? From the ServiceNow developer standpoint, I'm going to show you how you can get this data out of the system without having to write a fixed script and attach files or all that kind of stuff. And I'll show you how to get to this data, which isn't straightforward. So here we have the list of citations. I've got them filtered on the documents not empty because this is a demo instance and we've got lots of potential bad data there. So I have our citations and I'm just going to jump into a random one to show you what I'm talking about here. So here's this citation and we see it has a mapping to a control objective. And what we're specifically going to look for today is where do we have these citations that have no mapping to a citation? And there may be some scenarios where that's fine, like a header in PCI, but we want to find all of our control objectives or all of our citations that do not map back to a citation, to a control objective. From the developer perspective, if your customer asks you for this information, that's not really straightforward. Like how do you go filter on nothing? So we're going to do a quick little background script that will pull this out. So I'm going to jump over to Visual Studio and show this script that I put together. And you'll see here, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up an array to capture data. And then I'm going to query the citation table, and I'm filtering out document is not empty, and I'm going to loop through there, and then I've got an object that I'm setting up to put data in, and we'll see where this comes to play when we get to Excel, because I'm going to have some stuff here where that'll make life really easy for the end user that you give this data to. And then one of the things it's going to do is a quick check. I have this function here that's going to do a GlideAggregate on the many-to-many table, and it's going to do a count. And so we'll get the count and it'll be defaulted 0. And then if it gets a result, the count will obviously not be 0 and we'll return the count. And when this count is 0, that's all we actually care about. So if the count's greater than 0, then we're just going to actually skip over. And when the count is more than is 0, then we're going to push it into our array. I've got this log statement ready. We're going to stringify it, put it in there, and then I'm going to show you how you get that into Excel. So without further ado, we'll jump in. We'll go back to ServiceNow, and we're going to go to a background script. We'll go ahead and paste that, and we're going to run it. And this does, in our instance, take a minute because we have like 30,000 citations. So I'm going to click Run, and I'm going to pause, and I'm going to come right back when this is done running. Okay, I'm back. It finished running. It took about 20 seconds. So now I'm going to go to the log table and I'm going to show a trick I showed in my last video, which is the .filter, syslog.filter is open in a new window. And you'll see here, it opens the log table without any data coming back, which depending on your instance, sometimes that's a really good thing because some of these tables like log can take a long time to load. So now we can go in and I'll go ahead and I'll set my source as latest demo, and then I'm going to do and create it in the last minute. Hopefully I'm fast enough here to get that where I can get that down to the last minute. Go ahead and click run. There's my result. Okay, so now I've got my result and it's all nice and JSONed, so stringified. I'm going to copy that, and now I'm going to jump back over to Visual Studio Code. I've got a test JSON file ready, and I'm going to go ahead and wipe that out because I had done a run through of this. I'm going to go ahead and paste that in there, and I'm going to save it. Okay, cool. that's this step. Now we're going to jump over to Excel. I'm on a Mac, and so this trick that I'm about to show you, you have to do it on Windows, so I'm going to use Parallels. If you are running a Windows machine, you can just use Excel straight up. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this test sheet I had already done. Delete that so I can show this. So what you're going to do now to get that JSON string that you just exported into Excel is you're going to come to the Data tab. You're going to go to Get Data, go to From File, and go From JSON. And then you're going to grab your test JSON or your JSON file, whatever it's named. I named mine test. And you're going to import it. And this will take a quick second for Powerquery to load. So that's using Powerquery. And just so you know, Power BI uses the same technology in the background. So you can do the same thing if you're using Power BI, if you wanted to pull this into Power BI instead of Excel. Basically, you can run through the same similar steps. So from here, I've got the data, and then I'm going to convert it to a table. So I click that To Table. It'll pop up. I'm going to click OK. And then there's one more step. I'm going to go ahead and expand the file, expand it out. I always like to uncheck this original column as prefix because otherwise then you get that prefix in every column. Click OK. I'm going to get this data pulled up. And then I'm going to, and you know what I didn't do? I didn't save because my test run I had document empty. So I didn't save my JSON file, but oh well, this is good enough. So I'm going to go ahead and close and load. And then that's going to load the data that I just pulled in from that JSON file. It's going to load in, and let me close this. And now I'll just play around with this a little bit. Here's document. I've got my name, and then I have this, which you'll have to convert this to a URL. But now I've got a URL that we can actually go to the citations, and I can go here now, and I can actually, for example, I can just pick a document that I want to focus in on. So we'll pick an ISO one, click OK. So now I'm filtered down to just that ISO document, and I can see here is every citation in this document that does not have a corresponding control objective map to it. So I hope that's helpful as a way to get data out of ServiceNow. And then I just wanted to say, first of all, for any developer that wants to know more on that, just go ahead and hit me up on LinkedIn, and I'd be glad to chat with you directly on how you can do this. And for risk and compliance practitioners out there that are actually looking like, how can I do this on a regular basis? I just wanted to quickly show a tool we made that basically does all of those same things. It actually has the ability to export to CSV, but you can jump in and look at the mapping relationship between control objectives and citations, and you can filter down to anything that has no mappings. You actually can, I don't have any on that particular one. I can zoom in on any document I want, and then I can quickly load the various control objectives. I can look at their description, and then I can say, hey, I want to map this, and click OK. And it'll map it there. And then if I don't want that mapping, I can remove it. So if that's interesting to you, also hit me up on LinkedIn, and I can let you know about how we could get that capability to you. Thanks.